Shannon Stahl, Department of Chemistry, and I'm a professor here in the department. So in our global climate, there's a long-standing interest and growing interest in learning how to use biomass and other carbon-neutral feedstocks to generate the chemicals and fuels that we use in our society. So essentially you have three components. You have the lignin, the cellulose, and the hemicellulose. And what we're trying to do is to find ways to take and separate these three components, drawing from raw biomass and separating them into their component parts. Because right now, when you use biomass, if you're only using a fraction of the biomass, for example, the cellulose, we're not getting enough value to make it economically competitive with petrochemicals. And so if we really want to use biomass as a feedstock, we have to create value from all the component parts. The classical process for harnessing biomass as a feedstock is to isolate the cellulose. And many of the processes that exist, for example in the paper industry, do a good job of getting the cellulose out. But they do so at the expense of generating a lignin that is very recalcitrant or difficult to work with. And so what our process does is it essentially allows us to access not just the cellulose, but also the lignin as a useful and valuable source of chemicals. This technology was developed in collaboration with a postdoc in my lab, Hao Luo, who just recently moved to a permanent position at Archer Daniels Midland, in part building on the success that he had here at Wisconsin. The ultimate goal of this process is to enable biomass feedstocks to be economically competitive with petrochemicals. So this is still early technology, but the pieces are in place to turn this into a valuable approach to biomass utilization.